Hi there, I'm Chris Holzhauser, the Managing Director for Technology at BlueForge Alliance. I'm here with Mark Douglas today with Lincoln Electric Additive.
My name is Mark Douglas. I'm Business Development Manager for Lincoln Electric Additive Solutions. Additive Solutions is a business unit within Lincoln Electric. Lincoln Electric is an almost 130-year-old company founded by the Lincoln brothers, and we're the world's largest welding company. And in 2019, we took our collective knowledge of welding, robotics, controls, automation, and decided to apply it to additive manufacturing. So we started our Additive Solutions business in 2019, just down the street from our global headquarters in Cleveland, Ohio, where we installed some robots. And at the time, we had more robots than people. But right now, we have 22 robotic systems that print 24/7, full-on production, to print parts for customers.
How long have you been supporting the Navy's mission of 1+2, 1 Columbia-class, 2 Virginia-class submarines, and what they're trying to accomplish?
We've been supporting the Navy since World War II, and even before that, with just welding products. But more recently on the Columbia and Virginia, I would say the last couple years, what really helped get us involved with the Navy initially was Newport News Shipbuilding and working with them, particularly on some hinges for the nuclear reactor compartment door for the CVN-80 Enterprise carrier. And that kind of opened the doors for us to the world of additive within the Navy. And then shortly thereafter, we started working with both NAVSEA 05 and 08 on the nuclear propulsion side on how do we incorporate gas metal arc additive into Navy processes to support the submarine build.
Over the last, I'd say 18 months since I've been involved, we've had some pretty big breakthroughs. Can you share some of the latest progress that you've seen in your material development and the qualification efforts specifically for submarine construction?
Absolutely. So again, as I mentioned, we've been doing some work with 05 and 08. We made some nice breakthroughs in 08, having qualified 316L material. We printed a pump casing that is going to end up in a test loop for the Naval Nuclear Lab, right? So that was a great breakthrough, and that really helped build confidence within the Navy that you can use this material, use this process to create really high quality material. And then more recently, we've had extensive work on 100S material, which is a steel wire that is normally used to weld HY80, HY100 components together. So that's a natural substitute for HY80, either wrought or cast material. And so we've had some really great success recently on passing explosion bulge tests, some NDE on a recent component, so-called moonshot component, so some nice progress there. And then we've also had some nice progress on copper nickel. So we printed a copper nickel valve body for Hunt Valve, which is part of Fairbanks Morse Defense, and that was funded through Mystic, the OTA, and that valve body has gone through shock and vibe testing, various non-destructive techniques as well, and has one more test before it goes through the battery of tests. But so far, so good. So that was very encouraging.
BlueForge has been around for about 2 years now. We've been partnering up more and more recently, specifically just supporting the MIL 100 as well as the copper nickel work. What's it been like working with BlueForge, and how have we brought value to not just the Navy but also Lincoln's efforts?
Well, it's been really helpful because we're just on a wide variety of projects, right? And so to have a group that can be the liaison between the Navy and then the manufacturer is really helpful, particularly as a lot of the projects we have are fairly complicated. A lot of moving parts, they're fairly long time frames, and so having the project management is really key. Also having someone that understands the contracting and can do the contracting quickly is really helpful as well. So I think from that standpoint, both of those things, it's been really helpful for us to work with BlueForge to get what the Navy eventually wants out of this, which is qualified processes and qualified companies that are qualified to do the printing to support the construction of the submarines.
I would say one of the things that we're focused on is urgency. We're taking a 10-year process, condensing it down to 3. Where do you think we should spend more time, or what help could we bring to Lincoln Electric to help you all go faster? We're always challenged. How do we get this yesterday, essentially?
When we think about what it's going to take to get 3D printing into the field and deployed, it's more than just 3D printing. Just like castings don't stand alone, forgings don't stand alone, there are post-process operations, whether it's non-destructive evaluation, machining, heat treat, things of that nature that have to be done as well. And so understanding how they all interact together, and are you just substituting one bottleneck for another? That's something else. So we don't have great visibility into that because we don't do non-destructive testing internally. We do have machining capabilities, but the machining historically has not been for the Navy, so we don't fully understand what the Navy needs, and we don't do heat treating either. So having a kind of a roadmap of what else needs to be in place is going to be helpful, and also when you think upstream as well on the wire supply chain, on the steel side, there's a significant amount of welding wire already used and consumed for Navy shipbuilding, and Lincoln's a big part of that. And so additive is just 3D printing just adds to that. However, other alloys, the amount of potential 3D printing in some other alloys could actually be disruptive to the current welding supply chain. And so to help think through and understand what investments Lincoln needs to make in order to help secure that supply chain for the future of 3D printing is important. That's just one example.
Yeah, I think that's great. And you mentioned just your leadership really seeing and investing really to grow to this instance. What is it that has really convinced your executives to invest in this space? What opportunity do you see, in the near future for, long-term additive, large-scale additive production?
What got the executives excited initially was seeing the potential to replace castings and forgings. Doing some market research, I was involved in the team that helped craft the business plan for Additive Solutions. It was, wow, there's some opportunity here. There's some real issues in the forging casting supply chain that large format 3D metal printing could solve. And for Lincoln Electric, that's a pure organic growth play, right? We have traditional welding, which we can grow that business. Automation has been a great growth area for Lincoln Electric. Some of that is the growth of the market as well as through acquisitions. And this is another kind of offshoot of automation, if you will, but to replace castings and forgings, that's brand new landscape for Lincoln to enter into and have a growth path. And so that was exciting to the executives, and now seeing the amount of demand that we currently have on Navy projects and the funnel and pipeline of parts that can be printed in these alloys, that is definitely keeping Lincoln Electric in the game, seeing a path forward to grow this business and continue to support the Navy as well as other industries as well, which are also now starting to really adopt the large format 3D metal printing, oil and gas, power generation, nuclear, industries like that, where there's a lot of overlap. Critical components, large one-off or low volume components, similar to what the Navy has as well. And then with our internal machining capabilities, we also view it as a growth path to expand our machining operations as well.
Well, it's been a great 18 months, I'd say, working beside you, Mark. celebrate the victories that we've had, but also, as we've been told by Rear Admiral Papano, let's not slow down. We still got quite a bit to go, but it's definitely been a pleasure.
Our
Thanks
pleasure
for
as well.
sitting, talking to us, and enjoyed meeting with you.
Nice being
Thanks,
with you,
Mark.
Chris.